Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're setting sail to the heart of the Caribbean to explore the incredible history of a nation known for its 365 beaches, one for every day of the year. That's right, we're diving into the captivating story of Antigua and Barbuda. Our journey begins long before the first European ships appeared on the horizon. Around 2400 BC, the islands were first inhabited by the Siboney, or Stone People, ancient hunter-gatherers whose artifacts give us a small window into their world. Imagine a time when these islands were a pristine, untouched paradise. Later, around the time of Christ, the agricultural Arawak people arrived, establishing villages and a more settled way of life. They called Antigua Wadadli, a name still used with pride by locals today, but their peace was eventually disrupted by the arrival of the more warlike Caribs who came to dominate the region. Then, in 1493, everything changed. Christopher Columbus, on his second voyage to the Americas, sighted the larger island and named it Santa Maria de la Antigua, after a famous icon in Seville Cathedral. However, Spain's attempts to colonize the islands were largely unsuccessful due to a lack of fresh water and fierce resistance from the Carib people. For over a century, the islands remained a stronghold for the indigenous population. It wasn't until 1632 that the English successfully established a settlement on Antigua. They soon realized the island's potential for a different kind of wealth. The dense forests were cleared to make way for vast sugarcane plantations. This created an insatiable demand for labor, leading to one of the darkest chapters in the island's history, the transatlantic slave trade. Thousands of Africans were forcibly brought to Antigua and Barbuda, enduring unimaginable hardship to fuel the sugar industry that made Britain incredibly wealthy. The conditions were brutal, but the spirit of resistance was never broken. Throughout the 18th century, numerous slave revolts were planned and carried out. The most famous was the 1736 rebellion led by an enslaved man named Prince Claus. Though his plan to take control of the island was discovered and tragically suppressed, his legacy as a hero and a symbol of freedom endures. The winds of change began to blow in the early 19th century. After decades of abolitionist campaigning, slavery was finally abolished in the British Empire in 1834. For the newly freed population of Antigua and Barbuda, this was a monumental moment, but the road ahead was still challenging. The plantation economy persisted, and many former slaves found themselves trapped in a system of low-wage labor with true economic freedom still out of reach. The 20th century sparked a new fight, the struggle for political independence. The trade union movement, which emerged in the 1930s and 40s, became the driving force for change. Charismatic leaders like Vere Cornwall Bird Sr. rose to prominence, advocating for workers' rights and self-governance. Through decades of political negotiation and a growing sense of national identity, their efforts finally paid off. On November 1, 1981, Antigua and Barbuda became a fully independent and sovereign nation within the Commonwealth. V.C. Byrd became the nation's first prime minister, a moment of immense national pride. Since then, the country has navigated the challenges of a post-colonial world, shifting its economy from sugar to tourism and establishing itself as a vibrant and independent voice on the world stage. From the first footsteps of the Siboney to the raising of its own national flag, the history of Antigua and Barbuda is a powerful story of resilience, struggle, and ultimate triumph. It's a history that lives on in the culture, the music, and the warm spirit of its people. Thank you so much for joining me on this historical journey today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next adventure. See you in the next video.